Allow me to finish first, and then I'll come to your deposition, and I'll rebuttal it point by point. The witnesses are all false and fake, and everybody in this court knows, or at least some of the here present know, that all the witnesses are false. The prosecution of this court have bribed or threatened or lured the witnesses to come here and testify against me. And do you think that false witnesses that have been lured or bribed or threatened, do you think that says much about the court? Does that say that the court is fair? What is your proof that the witnesses are false? Do you have any proof of that, or is it just your opinion? Your Honor, yes, we give you a chance to talk, but if you have to prove what you say. Your Honor, I know that you're an old lawyer and you have been in courts for some time, and have you ever seen that a judge gets impatient with a defendant that is defending himself? And I'm not even defending myself, I'm defending the Iraqis. Yes, what we need you to do is to keep within the context of the trial. Don't go out of the subject. Mr. Rauf, if I go out of the subject, please be patient with me. If you want to add that to the charges against me, then I won't be upset. You can do that. What I'm saying is purely legal. This is legal. If when someone is on trial by a court, that person knows that some members of that court have bribed and threatened witnesses to come testify, can he not say that? Ladies and gentlemen, or your credentials in truth are completely illegal, and no one can ever be fooled or trust that such an institution can reach the truth if the truth is not what it is seeking, and it cannot give a fair sentence since the institution itself, the court itself, has been formed illegally and unfairly. How can you believe that, how can anyone believe that the president of Iraq is put on trial while he stood like a weapon, like a thorn in the face of the enemies of Iraq and all those who tried to destroy Iraq and its nation? How can you think that that person can ever be treated fairly in a court that is protected by the Americans, by the occupying forces? There are no Americans in here. We remind the defendant. Madam, if you speak again without being allowed to, I'm going to have to put you in jail for 24 hours. No, I am the lawyer, and the right to defend is sacred. There is an American here present. Why you're saying that there are no Americans in the courtroom, and there is one there? Go ahead. I have to clarify that I love Iraqis, and I was pointing at the door, and if we open the door right outside the courtroom, you'll find the American soldiers who are protecting you. and the tanks that are around you who are protecting you. No, don't tell me, Your Honor, that these are non-governmental organizations. If you have not seen the tanks, just walk out of this palace and you'll see the tanks who are protecting you. You are being protected and your court is being protected. I am protected by God. Yes, I know. If you are a fair and honorable, then you have nothing to fear. If not, then you can fear anything. And what does this court use of the Iraqi laws and constitution and the free will of the Iraqi people? The court should be set in the name of the people, and what all the forging and the falseness that has led to the formation of this court, and all those who condone forging. If anyone here can't see that all the good people if no one is capable of seeing anything, then God is always capable of seeing. Those who want to save their souls and save the honor of their citizenship, they have to defend themselves. Each one has to do it in the way they know best. But my soul gets saddened and I get upset, and my heart is in tears when any Iraqi is not being treated fairly. And I hate to see any Iraqi being put under any unnecessary hardship. Is it over? Yes, and we know that Mr. Rauf is... Yeah, this is the conclusion. Please, just let me conclude here and I'll answer all the questions. We know that Mr. Rauf likes poetry, so I wrote 3 verses for him. No, I don't like poetry, and I don't like to be praised in poetry. No, you know me, Mr. Rauf. I don't praise, and I don't insult. حليبا طاهرا وكان في سبيل من الأرض سور ما أضعفنا إغراء وكسر. He never answered my first question. The first question he did not answer. Yes, give him precise questions, yes, and I remind him of the question, what is the approximate number of his protection detail on July 8th, 1982? Were you alone? Were you alone? What's the point of this question? How is it relevant to the charges against the defendant? Your Honor, please, I will explain the relevance of this question. Why am I asking him? In what way is it relevant to the charges? Yes, because there are many other questions after that will depend on the answer. Why don't you go straight into the matter? Your Honor, I see that this question is completely relevant and I need an answer for it. Yes, Mr. Rauf, questioning of the relevance of the question is very judicious, and I really respect you for that. The one who represents the prosecution says that this question is not in your first deposition, and Your Honor know that if it's not in the deposition, the prosecution has no right to ask me, because then it becomes an interrogation again, and I don't think the prosecution has the right to interrogate. This is in the investigative part in the trial, not during the court trial. No, anyway, I read to clarify here that the prosecution has the right to ask whatever question they think relevant at any point, at any stage of the trial. They can ask questions of clarifications, of details, or anything. Things that have been said in the deposition or not, but the court is asking is what we are asking of him is to go into the cross-interrogation immediately. Then, Your Honor, allow me to answer him so that what he wants to say is, was there anyone hurt or killed from the protective detail? Well, I know this is what he wants to. Yes, I did have a private detail, a private protection. Please let me remind the attorneys, all of them, from both parties. I will give them time and the opportunity to explain. No, this is just a procedural thing that the prosecution should not address the questions directly to the defendant, and then you gave them you asked them something very important. What's the relevant? And I really thank you for your objection, because what's the relevance of this question? The number of protective details. This is completely irrelevant. Go ahead. Go ahead. Prosecution, go ahead. Yes, I had a protective detail, but the number of the private detail was very low. When I go to visit the town out of Baghdad, basically I take a private detail of protection. These bodyguards is a low number. I'm not telling you the number because I never disclose any secrets of my about my country. If I was asked what's the number of judges, I won't give it. Was there a military detail accompanying you, and was there an air cover? Yes, I know exactly what he's going to. The protection that accompanies me outside of Baghdad is besides the small group that is the close protection. There is a wider group that from the presidential guard that accompany me. Yes, they were with me. When we got under fire, they informed the relevant parties. Mr. Rauf, maybe you are surprised that Saddam Hussein did not follow up on any of and pick up the phone and say, I'm being shot at, and no, all the people around me did it. I did not contact anyone, and everybody knows, and I did not even ask to be kept informed, not when I was shot and not even when my son was shot, that the head of security asked an audience to meet me to explain to me at what point they were, so I said yes. And he explained to me what happened and all the details, but I really, I promise you, I don't even remember if this incident was against, let's say, a state minister, for example, I would have followed that, but not because it happened to me. So after the incident, there was a military presence in Dujail, and there were helicopters because these are farms and farmlands, and it can't be put under control without the military. In your deposition on June 12, 2005, you said that that the fire was shot from 2 rifles approximately. Is this true? No, this deposition is not accurate. What do you mean? Did you say accurate or not accurate? No, I'm saying it's not accurate, and I know that it has been forged, and some sentences have been put in there. And I said, after I left Dujail, after I visited a few houses, and one of them was the house of the Imam of Dujail, and I stayed for a long time until one of the security people, or one of the companions, said, sir, we're staying here too long, and there's only one route in and out of Dujail. Dujail is a small country, a small town, and there's only one route. So you take in and out. So I stayed in the house of the Imam at least 45 minutes. And I visited another house too. And I myself took part in the assassination operation of the late Abdul Karim Qasim. And don't be surprised that I say God bless his soul. I say that about anyone who died. I even say God bless his soul about Khomeini. When he died, when I was informed, I called the Ministry of Information and I said, all our problems with Khomeini are over. Don't you ever talk bad about him now that he's dead. Yes, give us the answer now, please. Please be patient with me like I am being patient with you. And I shot Abdul Karim Qasim, but without hatred. It was a national duty that pushed me to do it, and I had to do it. So the sister of Abdul Karim Qasim, I took care of her. God bless her soul. She died. She's dead now. And even those who were, we did the uprising and the coup against them, and those who tortured us, we treated them with respect. I took part in an operation, in a coup operation, in an assassination operation, and I know exactly how it works. And I am a peasant, and I am a son of peasants, and we know how the farmlands work, and we know we have resources and ways that people from the towns don't know. So we didn't need then. I know what you're looking for. If you try to limit the time at even 10 minutes in the house of the Imam, Saddam Hussein, when he visits a town, stays only 10 minutes. So what you're seeking to say is that in 10 minutes, how can a big operation be planned and executed against the President of the Republic? The response is that we shot Abdul Karim Qasim, God have his soul, and we only had no more than 1 minute notice. Since the signal came, someone, Mahmoud, called us so that we understood that he was coming from the Rashid Avenue, and we went out of the hiding, and since we were informed until we executed him, no more than 1 minute has passed. So in 10 minutes, even when there has been a preparation earlier, so that you don't waste your time with questions like that. If there is a preparation, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute is enough to execute an operation, so that the snipers are distributed at their specific points where as they trained, and they shoot. But who they are, how many of them, I really don't remember. I've seen the bullets, but I have not seen the snipers. I don't know how many. So what was said in the deposition, yes, I really object to what the deposition. What did they say in the deposition? They say that the shooting came from the other side, so that they can say that we did not need to bulldoze the farmlands. The deposition has been forged and has been altered and corrupted, and so that I'm calling on the court to disregard the deposition. So your deposition was taken in presence of your lawyers. They didn't see it before you signed it? This is my question. My lawyers? Yes, your lawyers were present when the deposition was taken, and they read it. And they signed it, and you signed. Did you read it? I really don't know, Your Honor, if they read it or not. I don't remember if I read it. So, Your Honor, you know my style. If you read it, you'll find out right away that it is not my style of writing. Your Honor, I ask the prosecution to read the full sentence, not stop where he chose to stop. When he says 2 rifles, he should continue reading, saying that, but I don't remember, because it has been a long time, since 1982. Yes, Mr. Rauf, I was upset personally. I was upset because that it was coming from an Iraqi. So when it happened, I walked out of the car and I stood upright and I greeted the people. Your Honor, yes, I want to remind the prosecution to ask you the question, and you ask the defendant, not to talk directly to the defendant. Yes, you have another question? You said in your deposition, yes, go ahead. You said, I would like to add that as far as I know, that no one was injured in the incident. Is that true? Yes, I know. I know from the beginning. I understood the question. I know what his objective is. I said that the protection is a small number. The first circle in the close circle of protection, no one was shot. But in the other circles, in the accompanying details, there were casualties. I was talking only about the closest number of bodyguards. The truth is, I really don't know exactly how many were wounded or killed, but some of them were. I asked from the court to call the attention of the defense lawyers to stop interrupting and objecting at every question I present. Yes. No, you cannot. You have no right to intervene and interrupt at every question. You have clarifications. When it's your time, you can clarify whatever and add whatever information you need. Now, for now, you leave the defendant, you leave your client answer the questions. Yes, another question? No. As far as I know, there were martyrs and injured in the force that protective force that was with me, and the one that went into the farmlands to find out the culprits. No, after the incident, after you went to Baghdad. No. I'm saying during the incident. Mr. Khalil, you are a veteran lawyer. Please stop committing these kind of technical mistakes. No, I'm talking about something just the way as it happened. So I don't really need here the help of my attorneys, although that I'm honored and I'm all my due respect, but I don't need them. Yes. There was a number of dead martyrs and there was a number of injured from the protective detail and from the pilots. Among the pilots too, yes. And if you have patience, you mean after the incident, the pilots, the injury casualties of, I don't know, Your Honor, I don't know. These are details. I told you that I did not even ask about these details. How would I ask, why would I ask about details? But after 25 years later, I don't remember. But the lawyers, if you are patient, he can provide you details. Yeah, we'll give them the chance to do that later on. Go ahead, another question. The defendant has we have a report here addressed to the defendant Saddam from his intelligence officer Barzan Takriti, and there are observations written on the margins, and we ask him what do you think about this? What do you mean what I think about this? What is your question? This is a report that was given to you, addressed to your name, and these are your annotations on the margins, and we claim that this was this is your handwriting. Yes, listen. I was asked this kind of question before, and I said if anything appears or seems to be my handwriting, and my handwriting is known, is very much known among all Iraqis, and you can determine that if it is my handwriting or not. And I said if anyone from the Revolutionary Council says Saddam Hussein was the only one and he acted on his own, and I will not rebuke that, except if the action is against the reputation and the principles and values of Saddam Hussein. Only then I would deny it. But I say more. Any Iraqi says that Saddam Hussein is guilty of anything that will discharge that particular Iraqi, I will accept that responsibility. If it helps any Iraqi from the north, from the south, from the center, I will not rebuke, I will not deny any responsibility except when it's against my reputation or my principles. So let me say it again. If anything, we don't know yet if how far the forging art has reached in the world and in our country too. Any comment, any signature is proven to be of Saddam Hussein, I assume the responsibility, the total responsibility. You mean this handwriting is yours? I gave you your answer. Are you saying that this document is forged? No, I don't know. I can't say that. The truth is, you want the truth? I know that our case is political. It's not this. What you have in front of you is this evidence, these documents, and these witnesses. But I know why I was arrested by the Americans and why now I am being presented to some kind of trial, the trial of Saddam Hussein. You want me to really enter into discussing these small details? No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Anyway, I told you what I have to tell you. And yes, if you have, if he rejects the document, yes, the court thinks that the answer is enough.